Canelo Alvarez will take on Dimitri Bivol, in the light heavyweight division this weekend for a big fight in boxing. So today, guys, I'm just going to be giving you what I think is the keys to victory for both men. Let's start off with Canelo Alvarez. If we look at Canelo Alvarez's skill set, he is not necessarily the fastest in terms of his footwork. There are guys who have much better footwork, but Canelo has an absolute granite chin and he is a very big puncher. Another great thing about Canelo's game is how he almost disguises punches. You'll think that, oh, he's going to throw a hook to the head and then he brings it down to the body. This guy is a ferocious body puncher, Canelo Alvarez. And he's also shown us in the past that he can be a slick counter puncher. We know that Dimitri Bivol is going to try and box Canelo, so Canelo is going to have to cut off the ring. But the issue is that I feel like in the early rounds, Dimitri Bivol will get the better of Canelo because Canelo was going to be taking his time calculating data. Normally, Canelo is weakest in his first, I'd say, 3, 4 rounds of a fight, and then after that, he's almost calculated all the data he needs in order to break down his opponent. Canelo is definitely going to have to, slip, do some bobbing and weaving. He's just going to have to get his head off the center line because if he doesn't, he'll be eating jabs all day from Dimitri Bivol. It's funny because we see Canelo as like the smaller guy. He's going up in weight classes, but there's just this aura about Canelo that I've noticed where he almost just seems so much bigger than the guys he's fighting, so much physically stronger. But I don't know if that will translate to this fight because Dimitri Bivol is a 175-pounder, though I do believe that, he was willing to come down to 168 and fight the top guys at 168 pounds, but obviously that's not happening because Canelo is the one who's moving up in weight. So Canelo Alvarez is just going to have to get Dimitri Bivol on the ropes and unload on him. Don't punch from the same angle all the time. Canelo is going to have to mix it up. So, for example, you go to the body, you go to the head, and then maybe when you start another attack, you go then to the head, then to the body. Canelo is also going to have to really just break down the body, chop the body as if it's. We don't want to see Canelo Alvarez go headhunting like we saw from, Oscar Valdez in the Shakur Stevenson fight. He needs to be composed, but one thing about Canelo is he never seems in a rush. He always seems patient and he's just willing to slowly break down his opponent. And then just before you know, bang, Canelo hits you with a hook or an uppercut. I don't see Canelo getting hurt in this fight just because he is a fighter he's probably got the best chin in boxing. I mean, his jaw is absolute granite. I do not know what it's made of. Yeah, so for me, Canelo is just going to have to go to the body and then go to the head. Don't go to the head, then to the body. Start with the body, chop down the tree. He's going to be very composed. He doesn't want to open up because even though Canelo does have a good chin, he is fighting a 175-pounder. This is someone who is, you would think that Dimitri Bivol is bigger, though what I've heard is that Canelo, when he fought Amir Khan, he got up to about like 187 pounds, which is crazy. I do not know how he gets that big. I actually wonder about, how heavy does this guy walk around because that is literally insane if he can get up to those weights, when he's fully hydrated. He only really has a short amount of time to hydrate. So Canelo's going to have to go to the body. He's going to have to be patient. He's going to have to bob weave, slip shots, and he's going to have to do some counter punching. On the contrary, Dimitri Bivol is going to have to use his jab and move around the ring. Though, I just hope that Dimitri Bivol doesn't just present, something simple. He's going to have to mix it up. When Canelo fought Caleb Plant didn't offer anything else other than a, Philly shell defense, and slick counter punching. If you look at, for instance, when Floyd Mayweather beat Canelo Alvarez, he jabbed, but there were instances where Floyd was willing to engage on the inside just for a short amount of time, just to kind of push Canelo back and gain center ring. So we don't want to just see this high guard from Dimitri Bivol because if he does that, that's just too basic, and Canelo Alvarez will figure out how to break through his guard sooner rather than later. So you're gonna have to present, different types of defense. guards, and you're also going to have to just mix it up in terms of your defense. We don't want to just see you jab and move around the ring the entire fight. There are going to have to be instances where you're willing to engage on the inside. Just push Canelo Alvarez back a little bit. So the main things for Dimitri Bivol will be to move around the ring and jab, but also when Canelo is pushing you back, you're going to have to push him back, for instances, in the fight, you know, by engaging on the inside. He's also going to have to do a lot of clinching as well, similar to what we saw Shakur Stevenson do to Oscar Valdez. Anytime Oscar Valdez tried to get on the inside, he felt like, oh, I've got Shakur Stevenson here. Shakur Stevenson was able to just clinch and nullify Oscar Valdez's offense. So definitely Bivol's going to have to clinch and nullify Canelo's offense. He's going to have to show Canelo different defensive maneuvers, not just a high guard, maybe go into a Philly shell, maybe look to do a little bit of rope a dope and countering off the ropes. So yeah, he's going to definitely have to mix it up, because if he just jabs, moves around the ring, and presents the high guard, Canelo sooner rather than later will figure him out. So yeah, those are my keys to victory. I'm not sure who will win the fight, because it's just interesting, because even though Canelo is considered to be the smaller man, he's just so physically strong, and he always seems to have this uh aura of just, he has such big size in comparison to, the other fighters. He just seems to command the ring, and it's almost intimidating, like, for other fighters. You just see them crumble under the pressure. They can't really get Canelo off him because Canelo is so physically strong. You can see that he's someone who's maxed out his frame. His muscles really fill out his bone structure. So he's very, very physically strong, Canelo Alvarez. So even though we believe Dimitri Bivol is the bigger fighter and has the size advantage, Canelo Alvarez is so physically strong. I wouldn't be surprised if, he was able to negate Bivol's, height, and demonstrate that he's actually the physically stronger man. So who do you guys think will win this fight? Guys, please like, comment, subscribe. That would be very, very appreciated. Peace.